Good morning, this is Deborah Matthews, Vicar of St Michael's Verwood and All Saints Three-Legged Cross. Over the last couple of weeks, the Gospel readings in the Church of England's lectionary have been focused on the question, who is Jesus? Jesus himself is reported as having asked his disciples to tell him what people were saying about him. And then he turned to the disciples themselves and asked them directly, who do you say that I am? This is the question that has been debated over the centuries. Who was Jesus? Who is Jesus? From one perspective, this question can be answered with some basic, if not precise, facts. Jesus was a Jewish man. The majority of scholars agree that he was born between the years of 6 and 4 BC. Through scientific historical inquiry and studies of Judaism, and by examining the prevailing culture during Jesus' lifetime, we do know something about the man. But that alone does not answer the question. It only gives us part of the story. And the Bible gives us another part of the picture. Jesus was born to a young woman during the time of a census, which involved his parents travelling to Joseph's hometown, where there was no adequate accommodation for them. So he was born in a stable. He grew up in difficult times under Roman occupation and corrupt puppet kings who wanted to maintain the status quo, stamp out rebellion, and uphold their positions, rather than support the welfare of the people. And in the end, Jesus stand against the hypocrisy of some of the religious leaders and the cruelty and the discrimination of the time, made him a threat to those in power, so he was crucified. But beneath the recorded moments of history, when we read the stories about Jesus' life, we come to another understanding of him. We learn about his relationships with people, with his disciples, and with God, his heavenly Father. And then we begin to glimpse a fuller picture of him. And this fuller picture was beginning to dawn upon the people who were closest to Jesus. And it was this that enabled Simon Peter, one of his disciples, to answer Jesus' question, saying, "You are the Messiah, Son of the living God." Peter spent time with Jesus, getting to know him well. He witnessed the way that Jesus ministered to everyone, not just to those who were considered deserving. And Peter knew the Jewish scriptures, which foretold the coming of the one who would be Messiah. So in that brief, insightful moment, Peter glimpsed the truth about Jesus' identity. But it didn't take long before it became clear that Peter didn't understand the cost of being the Son of the living God. Jesus began to prepare his disciples for the suffering to which he was headed, and Peter was horrified by that. This was not what he had expected. But Jesus corrected him and said, "Don't be like Satan, tempting me to an easier way." Jesus never took that way of least resistance that we are so often tempted to. What looks like the easy way out is usually what we are tempted towards when we are scared of taking up a challenge which seems to be looming over us. But Jesus taught and demonstrated how we should put our fears aside and follow him. When we spend time getting to know Jesus, reading the Gospels, and inviting him into our lives, then perhaps we will be able to answer the question for ourselves when Jesus asks us, "Who do you say that I am?" Have a great week, and God bless you in everything that you do.